everyone, welcome to episode 118 of the Arieknits podcast. My name is Ariel and this is a video podcast where I talk about all the things that I have been knitting and spinning on for the past week. Today it is Sunday, June 8th. I know, I'm filming on the Sunday, which is the same day that I'm hoping to upload this video. And I just was so busy yesterday. I mean, the plan was to film yesterday on Saturday, but yeah, things that were happening that day just took a little bit longer than usual, and then I was just like too tired. It was like too late at night to record, and so I just decided to wait and film this morning. And it's actually probably the best idea because the sun is shining into the room this morning and it's really nice, and would have been a lot better than if I tried to film late at night when it's dark and I have just like the overhead lights on in this room, and it just wouldn't look, I think, as nice. So yeah, let's get right into it because I have some fun updates. I have like one new cast on, and I picked back up some older projects that I haven't touched in a while, and so I'm excited to show you some progress on those as well. But let's get into talking about what I'm wearing today. I am wearing my kind of freshly finished, I finished it a while ago, but I only was able to talk about it, I think last week was the first time I talked about it, and I did post a picture of it on my Instagram before, but this was a secret test knit, this cardigan, and so I couldn't post about it until it was release time for the cardigan. But this is the Crippen cardigan by Tayler Harris, and this pattern is for Woolfolk, and that's because the yarn used for this is the Woolfolk Brise yarn line, which is a new yarn line. It is wool and cotton yarn, a chainette yarn. It feels really amazing, and I use the color B04, I'm pretty sure, and it is like okay, so when I was picking colors for this, for the test knit, I did this color was kind of labeled as gray question mark, I think, and I think in some lighting, not outside lighting, but like indoor lighting, and kind of just like generally if you're kind of looking from far away or really briefly, it just looks gray, kind of like a heathered gray because there's a lot of white in there, and I'm assuming the white is the cotton. But in sunlight especially, and in my Instagram pictures of this, it looks green, and not like a teal green, just like a really dark kind of like forest green, and I think it's so pretty. Like, this is a really nice color, and for a cardigan that I feel like I could wear with a lot of things, it just adds that little bit of interest, like, oh, is that like kind of green? It's like gray neutral, like it's really nice. Like, I'm really, really happy with this color choice. And yeah, I knit size 1. I used US 6 needles, 4.0 millimeter needles to knit this. I believe that is the recommended needles for this project, and my gauge swatch for this was spot on. I even, washed and blocked this. I mean, I usually do that anyway, but like it was spot on with Taylor's gauge for this pattern, and so that felt really great. The gauge for this is on the smaller side. Like, it is a pretty dense gauge, like fabric, but that it works really well with this yarn. I really like it because the yarn has that cotton texture in it. It doesn't feel heavy and dense. Like, it still has this nice drape to it, like it's not stiff from being such a dense gauge. I mean, it's still pretty open in terms of like you can see kind of like through the stitches, but not wholly, if that makes sense. Yeah, final measurements for this, I got 43 inches in circumference. That's pretty much on the pattern size for size 1, and that gives me about 13 inches of positive ease. And so this is a very large positive ease cardigan. Of course, you can knit whatever size with whatever ease that you would like, but this is the smallest size, and so I could not go any further smaller size for me. But let me stand up because this is the first time I think you've seen me wear this live on the podcast and can see it kind of like moving. So as you can see, I feel like it is reverse stockinette, so sleeves and the body are all in reverse stockinette, so you see the purl. And it is a little hard to see that because the yarn is so, two colored, like marled, but it really does make that texture. It just has a really nice texture, I think, to it. And then you can see there is just some ribbing details here. So the pickup for the sleeve, you start with 1x1 rib. The neck collar is also 1x1 rib. The hem is a 1x1 rib, and then the button band is a double knit button band, and it is worked together with the body, and so you do not have to go back later and pick it up and do the button band. So that's really nice about this pattern. The neck, this is worked top down. The neck area, it is pretty wide. You can see it's pretty angular here, and it does kind of have this, like, this is where those increases happen to do that shoulder shaping. So it is wide. You can see my shirt, goes around my neck, closer to my neck than this cardigan. Sometimes I do feel like I have to kind of like pull it up a little bit just so it's not like draping down my shoulders, but I do think that this is just like a style look. This is part of the design. And I think it works really nicely. And again, this is a DK weight yarn. It's wool cotton blend, so it works well, I think, for warmer weather. So to have a bit more of an open neckline kind of works for that kind of yarn as well. But as I said before, I have worn this with like a long sleeve under it, and it's super warm, like really, really, really warm. And so you can wear this in both like a cooler weather and also warmer weather. Okay, one thing you may notice design-wise is that there is no buttonhole right at the top. And so this does, keep it open, kind of makes it look V-neck-ish. 3 buttons, and the pattern does state, how far to space them. And so this is as intended for the design. I will do that awkward kind of like stand with my arms out so you can just see the overall kind of like shape of this cardigan. You can see a lot of positive ease here. The shoulder, it's very drop shoulder. Like you can see my shoulders up here, and the sleeve does not start on me until like, this is past where some of my t-shirts even like stop for the sleeve. And so the sleeve, I love this. I know not everyone loves their sleeves to be super long, but if I hold out my arm and just let the sleeve do its thing, it kind of almost reaches over my thumb. I love this length. I think it's very cozy to be like this because I get cold. My hands get cold very easily, and so I like having sleeves that are comfortable like this, and I'm not like tugging the sleeve to get it to reach over my hands. As far as like, pulling them up, I know this is another criteria that I check for my cardigans or sweaters that have long sleeves. I can actually, pull this all the way up here. And it is it's a little loose, like it's not, like if I shake it enough, it will come down, but you can see I have to kind of do that very aggressively. And so I can still, roll them all the way up or push them all the way up my arm so that if I need my hands to be and my wrists to be pretty free and clear of clothing, it's really nice for that. And yeah, so that is the Crippen cardigan. It is honestly, I want to mention that as part of this test knit, I was given this yarn for free to do the test knit. So just needed to say that. This yarn is expensive. I knit the smallest size, as I've said before, and that required 10 skeins of this yarn. Each skein is 50 grams, and so just an FYI on that, each skein is 50 grams, and this yarn is pricey. I think that if you're able to touch the yarn in person before you buy, I think Woolfolk does show up in a lot of kind of like yarn shows or like festivals or things like that. Like if you can touch it before you buy it, which I think would be the best way to know if you want to splurge or like, you know, make that investment in this yarn to make something extremely special for you or for someone. That would probably be the best because, yeah, I mean, when I picked up, because again, this yarn, this particular yarn for this design is a new yarn blend and base for Woolfolk. And I have never felt this yarn before, heard about it or whatever, because it's new. When I picked it out of the box for the first time, and I even have, for us, or at least for me, it came like this. When I picked it up, I was like, oh, I was like pleasantly surprised. I didn't know what I was expecting to feel from this yarn. Because I knew that there was cotton in it, I was expecting it to feel kind of dense and heavy, and not as fluffy soft as this does feel. I think the chain knit construction of this does help with having that less dense of a yarn feel, like for each of the strands, you know. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. Also, it's really nice and cool to the touch, and overall, just I really, really like it. Yeah, so I'm hoping that if you guys get a chance to touch this yarn in person at some point when Woolfolk does any kind of yarn vendoring things, definitely touch it. I was pleasantly surprised, very happy. Nice to work with, does not split because of the chain knit construction. Felt a little slippery for me the first like few-ish I guess hours of me knitting with this. I did feel like I had to get sort of used to it, but it was nice. Like, it wasn't a bad kind of thing. It was just like, yeah, nice. And I don't know, I think a great yarn. But yeah, definitely a yarn if you want to use it for a project. Either make a smaller project first to see if you really, really like it, or yeah, save it for a project that you feel will be extra, extra special for you or someone that you love. Okay, so that is the Crippen cardigan. I've been wearing it a lot, honestly, truly. It has been a really easy thing to like grab and go, and I don't have, like, there's no itchiness at all with this yarn for me against my skin. It feels one of the more kind of like, I know some people have feelings about, you know, when you hand knit something and it looks store-bought, that, you know, good or bad, you know, but this feels like a store-bought cardigan. It has that feeling. It really has that nice luxury feeling, and that kind of goes with, again, the price of the yarn, but also, you know, I think worth it if you want something that extra special. So yeah, okay, Crippen cardigan, done talking about it, not done wearing it. I will be wearing this, I think, for a very, very long time. I feel like if I do kind of like a end of year ranking of like favorite, I know we're not even officially, we're entering the end of the first half of the year, but I do feel like this cardigan is going to be a favorite of mine for the rest of the year. But you never know, we still have a lot, or I guess a little over half the year left to go, but I do really like this cardigan. Okay, let's move on. Oh, I have one finished object. This is the Islander Vest by Claire Jackson. I'm going to hold it up, and it is so cute. I just pulled it off of the drying mats. It's completely dry, but that's why it's standing so nice and flat, because it dried nice and flat just now. And I did just like tie the bows on there because it looks very cute and will help keep it closed in the front. Now you can actually see the shaping on this. I feel like all the previous times I've tried to hold this up, all of the ends kind of like curled in on itself. But now you can see the nice V-neck shaping, armhole, just like what the fronts look like as well. Here's the back. It's all just like stockinette, but with some nice edging, some broken rib edging around the sides. And I think it looks really, really, really cute. I love the yarn color that I chose for this. Okay, this is, again, test knit Islander vest. I knit size 3. I use US 5 needles, 3.75 millimeter needles to knit this. And the yarn I use is less traveled yarn in the colorway Jade. And yeah, I think like this, you can really now see this colorway is like mostly, like from far away, it looks like a tonal, but up close, and maybe I will show the back because it has just the bigger panels. Really, really light speckles of a blue and some dark purple. And it's so nice. It's so pretty. Very, very happy with this. I have not tried it on yet since I've pulled it off of the drying mats, but it looks like it will be a really nice fit here. I will be taking pictures of this very soon. I am so obsessed with the bows, with the ties on the front. I did end up going with just doing 2 in the front. I know that in Claire's pictures she did have 3, and she of course spaced them out equally along the front, but I wanted to go with 2. I just felt like, I think there were like other similar vests that I've wanted to make but never made, and they've had like 2 pieces or 2 parts in the front where it enclosed. You could do buttons or do like a little clip, or just like tie it there, sew it there, and it was always 2. And I just felt like I'm going to have a little bit of positive ease on this, and so I'm not really worried about too much kind of like if I wear it, with like negative ease, like it's going to, I'm not worried about it, like pulling too much this way for me, because I am going to have some positive ease. So the gaps won't be too big in between, I think, for me. And I'm also going to wear this always with a shirt under it. And so, again, as far as like coverage wise, if I wanted to wear this without a shirt under it and just this as the top, I probably would go with 3 so that I can get more, again, just more coverage. But with the 2, right, because the areas in between are a lot bigger. But I will always wear this with a shirt under it. It is very cute. I'm very excited to wear this during the summer. It's going to be, and again, if I'm wearing a vest, wear it over like a long sleeve. Can wear this throughout the fall, maybe winter too. I mean, a great layering piece, I think. I'm happy. I'm very happy with this. So that is my finished Islander vest, and I just have to make sure that I do all of the final kind of like test knit things of like taking pictures, writing down my notes, making my Ravelry page, and doing, making final measurements and doing all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm glad that that's done. It's very cute. I'm very happy about it. So yeah, I think that after that one is fully done, I won't be in any test knits, at least for now. I did sign up for one. Haven't heard back yet, so we'll see if I get into that one. But yeah, after that one, that's the last test knit on my needles, I think. I believe. I hope, because that's all I've got on my mind. Okay, let's move on to my whims for this week. I have some quick updates on things. Nothing super crazy, at least to start with. Okay, my Metropolitan pullover. I am almost done with the second sleeve on this. I think that that's where I left off last time. I don't think I moved my stitch marker from last time. But here it is right now. It's looking all wrinkly because it was just kind of stuffed in one of my bags. But almost done with the second sleeve. I think I really just need to do the I-cord cuff right now. And I was just, this whole week, just distracted with other things to do the I-cord cuff. But that's all. So hopefully this week I can just, I think what it is was I needed to find smaller needles, and they were either all in other projects or I couldn't find it, or I was too lazy to go look for them. So yeah. But this week has to be the week that I finish the second sleeve. And then I'll move on again to start working the body. And then hopefully I get to finish this pretty soon because, yeah, it's just the body after the sleeves. This is a Metropolitan Pullover by Tori. The yarn I'm using is Camellia Fiber Company Somme DK in the colorway New York. And I am knitting size 1 and I'm using US 8 needles, 5.0 millimeter needles to knit this. Nope. Is that false? US 8. I have US 10 on here right now. Okay, I just double checked, and this week, the past couple weeks, I must have gone crazy because, okay, I am using US 10 needles, US 10, 6.0 millimeter needles to knit this. I'm pretty sure. At least I know for sure because I left these needles on here from when I was working on the second sleeve. So I know for sure I use US 10 needles to knit this second sleeve. Gauge does not look completely off or anything from the rest of it. And the pattern is also US 10, these needles, for the main parts of the body, like the main gauge. So I don't know why I put US 8 in my notes. US 8 is what's used for the cuffs. So maybe I just put that because I worked on the cuffs last time when I wrote the notes. Who knows? I actually do have another needle size mishap from this week, and so this one caught me by surprise because now this is needle mishap number 2 of the week. But everything looks fine. Both sleeves look the same size, same width. I'm not concerned. I must have just written my notes wrong, but now I need to be a lot more careful. But US 10, 6.0 millimeter needles for the main parts of this sweater. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. I like working with this yarn. It is just very fluffy. Like whenever I'm bring it out, there's just kind of like fluff that kind of like flies around. But it's going to be very soft and very nice and light. And it works out really nicely. So again, nice to just have a project that knits up really fast to make it feel like I'm making a lot of progress in a short amount of time. So there's that sweater. Okay, next up, let's talk about this one. I've made huge progress on this one this past week. This is my book club cardigan by Sari Nordlund. And let me just hold up what I have. I am not attached to a ball right now. It's very exciting. Okay, I have finished the second sleeve. So this week was kind of worked on quite a bit of sleeves because I have more sleeves to show you and talk about. But I finished, I think it was this sleeve. I finished the left sleeve this week. Honestly, this sleeve, I think I did finish, maybe it was like within a day and a half. Obviously doing other things during the day, not just knitting the sleeve, but knit the sleeve up and finished it really fast at the beginning of last week. And then I went back to working on the body, and you might be able to tell I'm actually casting off the body right now. I was hoping to get the cast off done before filming. You can see I'm partly the way through here on my tubular bind off, but it was too much body, and I needed to get recording to start my day. So, but yeah, I've almost finished the body. I finished knitting the body, and I'm casting off now. So this is the back of the sweater, of the cardigan. Here's the hem. There's 1x1 rib on the hem, and I'm doing a tubular bind off, and so that should be done this week, the tubular bind off. And so then I think the only things I need to get done now on this cardigan is the button band, which I think is a double knit button band, and then also finishing up the pockets. So that's exciting. This really kind of like flew off. I had a really slow start to this. I remember just kind of, I just like had some trouble. I was like unsure about a lot of things. Part of it was because we made some like modifications to the original pattern. So that's kind of just like finicky and just like really having to concentrate and think and count and do all of that in the beginning. And so it wasn't all that enjoyable for me to work on in the beginning. But after a bit of a break on it, came back to it, and I just really, really went all out to get this done. But yeah, and it has been enjoyable this time around to work on it, so I'm really, really happy about that. Okay, the yarn I'm using for this is Woolberry Fiber Co. Berry Worsted in the colorway New York in the Fall. This is such a pretty color. This is going to be perfect for the fall, very fall colors, but I will be wearing this immediately once it's done, because all the cables make it just look so cozy. I'm hoping it fits nicely over clothes. Like, it should have good amount of positive ease. One thing I am interested in is that there were a lot of notes and Ravelries of people saying that the sleeves were really tight, and so they would go up a few sizes from, the body size that they're knitting. They would go up sizes for the sleeve so that there was more stitches to go around, so that the circumference of the sleeve was larger. I decided to just go with size 1. I just did size 1 everything, because when I picked up size 1, I felt like it didn't look all that, like it does kind of like squish in a little bit around the armhole after the pickup. But part of me thinks that after blocking, I can block it out a bit. And it does hug my arm throughout the sleeve, but it doesn't feel really tight. And so I'm hoping, and I'm curious to see if blocking will help to get this to just kind of stay a little bit more open, because there is quite a bit of stretch to it in the sleeve, circumference-wise. Yeah. But, okay, that brings me to my needle size for this. So I knit this with US 6 needles, 4.0 millimeter needles, at least to start. I am quite sure that I did that in the beginning. And this was before my longer break from from not knitting on this. When I picked it back up this most recent time, I think something happened and I started knitting with the US 7 size needle. So I went up a needle size. And I didn't notice until I went back to the body. So I already finished both sleeves with the US 7 needles. This is also maybe the reason why I think my sleeves don't look as small as everyone was saying compared to the size of the body. It was because I went up a needle size for my sleeves, apparently. But again, like lengthwise was fine. It actually was, I think. And okay, what's really interesting is when patterns like this, like cable patterns, have really large pattern repeats in terms of like, you can see that this sleeve has 4 full diamonds, right? Like it starts off right at the tip of one, and then I finish right at the tip, at the bottom of this one. So there's 4 full diamonds. And so in pictures, what I've looked at in Ravelry pictures and Sari Nordlund's pictures, you can count how much they have, and just to kind of see if like, oh, is your gauge like close to other people's? Of course, maybe their length is a little different, but it's just to gauge like where you are in length and how much of a pattern repeat you do to get a length. And I had to shorten my sleeve, I think, by just like a little bit, or maybe like an inch, but I did get the 4 repeats of this, and I think Sari Nordlund's one has 4 full repeats like this on hers. So I had to shorten it because it was getting kind of long. So the length is good for me. But I was glad that it worked out, that I could get 4 full repeats of this. It actually is a little bit into the next one because this cross. But anyway, just looks like 4 full diamonds. My body, however, I did not quite get mine to look exactly like Sari Nordlund's. I think where I started... Oh, yeah, I did not talk about this last time because I did this past week. I did do the pockets. I'm going to do pockets. So you can see, I'm going to have to go back and do something with this, like to keep this open. But this is where you put in a scrap piece of yarn and then that's where the top of the pocket will be. You can see the ribbing right here for the top of the pocket, and I think my placement of it in terms of the relation to the cable pattern is a little off from Sari Nordlund's, and so I think for hers, she starts the bottom ribbing like at the end. She does get a full triangle or full diamond shape before doing the ribbing, and it was actually getting a little long for me, and so I stopped it a little past the middle point of this, but now it, kind of looks like there's an X that goes right on the pocket, and so I'm pretty happy with that. But also the length felt fine for me. What was I saying? But anyway, I somewhere in the middle of making this cardigan switched to a larger needle size, but I don't think that it made too much of a difference, surprisingly. I don't know, nothing looks crazy. Maybe after blocking I'll be able to tell a little bit more, but I'm also thinking it was good, especially for doing the sleeves, if people were feeling like they were too tight. Going up a needle size is another option, as long as, the fabric it creates isn't too much different from the rest of the cardigan, which I don't feel like mine's are. Like, it really doesn't feel, I would not be able to tell the difference, I think, unless I, actually looked at my needle size. So, but again, after blocking, we'll see. But yeah, wow, I can't believe I did that. Obviously, I'm not gonna go back and rip out all of this work just to use the right needle size if everything looks okay. But it was just a funny thing that happened. My tension is not that equal throughout projects and needle sizes either. So, I don't know, needle sizes are kind of just a range for me for my gauge, so I'm not super surprised that changing needles didn't drastically change my gauge on this. But whatever, it's fine. It's just funny. I was like, oh my gosh, I knit both sleeves in a larger needle size. I could have switched back to the US 6 for the body after I realized, but I also was lazy, and I was like, it's fine. Also, I couldn't find my US 6 needles. I think that was the thing too, so who knows what actually happened and why that happened, but it happened, and I wanted to share it with you. Okay, so that was a book club cardigan. Okay, I have 2 projects that I have picked back up this week. Okay, and just quick. This one quick because less interesting things happen in this one. Do you remember this one? This is my 2-color brioche scarf that I am knitting and kind of sort of knitting it in with my friend Emily. Hers looks very different. Hers is black and white. She's using a lot different kinds of yarn than me, and hers will be a lot longer than mine's, I am quite sure. But she needed some friend motivation to work on a 2-color brioche scarf with her, and so I decided to help her out on that and make my own. Emily kind of drew inspiration. She has a pattern that she was using and just made some heavy mods to it, and I just asked her what it is 2-color brioche flat, and I'm not following the same mods as her. I'm not using the pattern that she's using, so no pattern for me. I just cast on whatever number of stitches Emily said she cast on, and then I'm just knitting 2-color brioche flat. And I will keep knitting this until I run out of yarn, basically. But stitch marker right here. I just knit, I think this is like a couple inches, maybe 2 inches, maybe 1.5 inches of this week. I brought it to knit night because this is a pretty, once you get it going, after you cast on and get all of your colors set up, it's a very easy knit to work on while you're talking with friends. And so this is one side, this is what the other side looks like. I love my color combinations for this. Speaking of colors, the yarn I'm using is Coast to Coast Yarn Co. Classic DK. So that's this colorway. In the colorway Sprinkle, it was a New Year's Day 2024 colorway. A speckled, variegated color. And then the other side is the Sewrella Yarn Classic Sock in the colorway Hollywood Studios. And yeah, I just feel like they go really nice together. There are some like those maroon, darker purple colors in the speckled colorway, and so I think that kind of draws it all really nicely together. And it's overall just like a really squishy fabric. Oh, the fingering weight yarn I am holding double, so I kind of have working with DK weight-ish yarn combinations on both sides. But yeah, this is the length that I have right now. It's not that long. I don't even think, I mean, at this point I could, it does reach around my neck, but it's kind of short. So definitely want more length. I think that this might be around halfway, just a little over halfway from what yarn I have. I have 2 skeins of each, and I think I'm going to run out of my DK weight yarn first. I'm trying to find where that end is. Oh no, I'm going to finish up my fingering weight yarn first. And so that's these ends right here. So this would be pretty much the halfway point lengthwise for this. Not sure what I'm going to do. I think I'm just going to wait until I run out of yarn, see what the length is before deciding if I just cast off there or I try to find some other yarn to add on to this or anything like that. But again, 2-color brioche. It's a nice relaxing kind of stitch to work on. So it's great to have this back on, I mean, they've always been on, oh no, I was going to say they've always been on needles, but no, I had to put them back on needles. So it's nice to put them back on my needles to start working on it. This is where my US 6 needles went, 4.0 millimeter needles. It's on this project, so noted, good to know. Okay, my next project that I'm real excited to get back working on. It's my Birch. My Birch Pullover by Andrea Mowry. This is my second Birch Pullover ever. Back on the needles, and I got quite a bit done this past week. I already had one sleeve done, and I was working on the second sleeve, and then I kind of got tired of working on it, distracted with other projects. But then this week I was like, since I finished so many projects last week, let's get back on with this project and let's finish this sleeve. Because counting the decreases for this is always kind of annoying, but okay, this is my stitch marker for the week. So I started here, this is where I was before this week, and I worked all of this sleeve this week, and I'm just about started the 2x2 ribbed cuff. And so I'm already on the cuff. The cuff is a little bit, it's on the longer side, so I have that much cuff to do, but it's exciting to be on the cuff because I don't have to count for decreases anymore, and yeah, it's 2x2 rib. And it also signals that I'm almost done, and so that always helps me kind of like push to finish the sleeve. So almost done with the second sleeve. I'm hoping that I can get this done this week so that I can start working on the body again, because that will just all be like no decrease, just work in the round forever and ever. But I like almost don't have a body under the underarm stitches. This might be 1 inch, maybe not even an inch under the arm, and so I have a lot of body to work on. But it'll be really nice to just be on the body of this, because then I don't have to look at a pattern. I just keep on knitting. But yeah, so that's really exciting to finally get back to work on my Birch, because I do love my first Birch, and so I'm excited to have a second one. I love wearing it. I really like this colorway. The yarn I'm using is Explore Knits and Fibers Earthy Sock in the colorway Bainbridge Island, and so yeah, I love this color. It's so subtle and so watercolory. But yeah, I really want to have this as a full sweater to wear. soon, and so I would like to get this done this year, which I can definitely do as long as I keep working on it. I am knitting size 1, and I'm using US 2 size needles, 2.75 millimeter needles to knit this. That is the recommended needle size. And yeah, I'm just excited. I think that just putting the projects back on my needles that I haven't worked on for a bit of time, like having that break from them for a little bit has been nice, because I think for most of the projects that I've done that with, I'm like feeling refreshed about them and excited and motivated to work on them again. And so that always feels nice. Feels nice to feel excited about working on a thing and not feel like it's a chore. Like sometimes it just feels like that because it's an annoying, part of the project, but I know that it'll be worth it in the end. But like to actually just feel motivated and want to work on it is always really nice. Okay, let's finish up my whips section with my one you cast on this week. Yay, it's a small project. I cast on my June socks. Yay. Okay, let me hold it up so that you can look at something. It's nothing crazy. Here they are. Just this so far, but I can hold up the yarn because it is crazy variegated yarn. I love all the colors in it together though, and so it's making me very happy. I was a little worried about this doing major color pooling if it's striped, that would also be fine, but the colors looked like it was a little too short to actually do micro stripes, but I'm glad it's not. There is some color pooling, but it's not as crazy, because it actually does have looks like a little bit of these dark green stripes, and so that kind of helps with the coloring on these. Okay, I'm not really following a full sock pattern for this, but as I mentioned before, I wanted to try a Fish Lips Kiss heel sock. And I had a viewer so kindly gift me a pattern that is the Fish Lips Kiss heel. Seems like it's the official pattern for just the heel. And so it has all of these instructions on how to make the heel, and it's just the heel instructions. And because you can put it on any sock that you want. And so I decided to go with, and I'm hoping that this will work out, I decided to go with just doing a 2x2 ribbed sock. So kind of like my DRK everyday socks, although those are worked toe up, and it has a fleagle heel. But I just really like the fit of an all-around 2x2 ribbed sock, and so I felt like it would be safe to do that, and also just a lot easier this way. But I'm going to do it cuff down, and I have no special cuff. It was just a straight, I did a stretchy cast on, and I just went straight into a 2x2 rib. And I'm just going to have a pretty long leg part of the sock before I start the heel, and I feel like that will just be the safest way for me to experiment with the heel versus doing a toe up. Because with the toe up, I think, I don't know. So I just, for some reason, felt more comfortable doing a cuff down for this one. So as you can see, I have not gotten to the actual heel part. So right now it really is just 2x2 rib. I did a cast on of 60 stitches, and so I've just been knitting on this in the round until I feel comfortable with the length, but I still want it to be longer. So I'm hoping I can reach the heel this coming week so that I can actually talk about it. But if not, then probably the week after that. No, I really think I should, and hopefully we'll start the heel and actually finish the heel this coming week. But yeah, I'm glad I cast on these. I did just cast these on Friday. So it really has not been that much time working on it. The yarn. Sorry, this is Sewrella Yarn Classic Sock in the colorway The Garden Room. I don't know if I said that. But yeah, I feel like the colors all definitely look like garden room colors. It's basic. I feel like the colors look like if you took a picture of a garden room or like a garden, and then you like blurred it all up. That's kind of what I feel like these colors are. Because there's the green, blues, purpley pinks, kind of like a light pink peach color in there. So I feel like it's got the sky, all the greenery, and like pink flowers. It's basically what I see when I see these colors together. So yeah, really happy with how this is knitting up. As I said before, there's some you can kind of see, like there's this band of like light purpley colors going diagonally like this, but it's all broken up by these like dark green and light green stripes, and so it kind of just helps break up that color pooling, and I'm very, very happy with how that's working out. But yeah, this is my new cast on this week. It's my June socks, so I'm excited for a new heel. A little nervous because it is a new thing for me, but it's exciting, and yeah, it keeps me, I like learning new techniques, so that should be good. And then that's like kind of basically it. I don't really have any spinning to talk about because I have not worked on my nest fiber spin this week, just because, as you can see, I've been busy with other just like knitting projects and less spinning. I have continued. I did spin a little bit on my Albertrichel, my sweater spin. I was really hoping to finish it, or to finish spinning all my singles this past week, but it just didn't happen. So but yeah, I did spin a little bit, but it basically looks the same, so I did not take the bobbin off the wheel and rip off the fiber to bring it down here, just because it looks the same. But I do have one acquisition. It was actually from last week, but I forgot to talk about it last week. But I did not want to miss out showing this to you all because it's so, so pretty. I did get, and I bought from ZZ Textiles. I know I'm doing a sweater spin with her fiber, but I mean, because I love her fiber. Okay, this colorway came out as fiber, and I was like, I think it was in stock also, like an in-stock update, so it came really fast. This is Rambouillet fiber, 100% Rambouillet, but I had to get it in this colorway. Tapestry. I have this, I have it right here. I have this colorway in the classic fingering base in the yarn. So let me show it to you here. Yay. And I got this from Flock. I think this is my first purchase from ZZ Textiles. This, and actually I did get another skein of a different color from her, but Flock last year was my first purchase from ZZ Textiles. And then after I like had a lot of time looking at this skein of yarn, I was like, gosh, I wish I bought more of it. It's so pretty. I love it. And then, of course, it came out with it in fiber, and it's like even better. I mean, I still love the yarn, want more of that yarn, but look how gorgeous all the colors look in the fiber. It's so pretty. So I could not resist. I had to get a braid of it, and it came in the mail, and I'm so happy. I stare at it all the time. It's so pretty, so pretty. I do not know. It's almost too pretty to want to spin, because I'm, I don't know how it's going to look up spun. Still, I think it will look pretty, but I also just love how it's looking like this in the braid. So it'll probably live like this for a while, just because it's so, so, so pretty. But I want to spin this too, just because, again, it's so pretty. But yeah, isn't that crazy? Just how it looks, yarn form versus fiber form. Actually, it'd be really cool if I could spin this before I use this yarn, because this is in the queue to use this year for one of my socks later in the year. But so I should probably spin this first so I could see this hand spun version of the colorway versus the yarn version, so I can see it next to each other, like in person, Okay, so that's a fun idea for me. Okay, so that means I will spin this later this year. But yeah, it's so pretty, and I had to show it to you because it makes me so happy. It's so pretty. Okay, And then that's it. Oh no, one more thing. I finally got my my copy of the Sari Nordlund book, the Summer Knits book. Yay! So yeah, this is really cool to just to have, and because I test knit for her for this book, it's just really cool because my name is in the book, in the back, in the thanks, and I was kind of looking through that, and I was looking at everyone else's names, and I could see some other friends' names in there too, and so it's just really cool to see that. I mean, my main motivation, I like testing for Sari, and I've tested for her a lot, and will continue to test for her. This time around, I wanted my name in the book, and so that was like the goal of that, so that's pretty cool. I've looked through it briefly, the pictures are just so pretty. Just like her first book, the pictures are really, really nice to look at. And there's definitely some tops in here that I would love to make, and cast on. Maybe when I have a more concrete plan and some like yarn planned out for them, I will share them with you. But for the most part, most of Sari Nordlund's knits I like and would like to knit. So, there's a lot of lace patterns in this book. I'm flipping through it right now, and I don't want to like hold it up too much in camera just in case I show like parts of the pattern, and that's like, these are paid patterns, and so I don't want to like hold up to the camera parts of the pattern. But there's some cute stuff in here that I'd like to knit. I mean, there's my list of things that I want to knit is always, the list is huge, so it'll always be just like just trying to figure out how to prioritize all of that. But I think, I'm trying to flip through and find a picture of one of the things that I'm like, I really do want to knit that, maybe first on the list, potentially. I think I'm trying to find a picture of it where it does not show the instructions. Maybe not, but I'll just show, I do like that part of the book that she has in the contents in the front, mini pictures of like all of the things, and so I don't have to actually flip through the entire book to just look at what the patterns are. I can just look at all of them all together. Okay, there is this Sarah's, I do not know how to pronounce that, Sarah's T, which is this one. I'm gonna try to focus the camera. Again, this picture is small though, so it's like a T that it has like a lace panel down the front middle. I really like that. And then she also has it as a cardigan, this one here. So it's like very same pattern, but it's open in the front. I think it's very cute. For the cardigan, I would consider just making it a long sleeve versus the short sleeve, because I don't know how often I really wear short sleeve cardigans, but it is very cute. So I would say out of all of them, that those might be ones that I'm leaning towards like first, although I really also like the Lucina pullover, which is this like her only long sleeve? No, it's not her only long sleeve, but it's like a fluffy long sleeve, looks like mohair. Or like I would just use a like Sari. It's a long sleeve. I think it's circular yoke. Again, I'm trying to find a picture right now to show you. And I mean it is a circular yoke, and the biggest design detail on this that I love is the back of it, because it's again, you know me and bows, but that's cute and I like that. So yeah, those are the ones that caught my eye in the first kind of like look through and stuff. So yeah, okay, now I think that is it. That is all. Thank you so much for watching. Quick note, maybe I should have mentioned this in the beginning too, just in case you didn't watch all the way until the end, but next weekend I will be busy. The next like 3 weekends I will be busy, but I don't want to not make a video for 3 weekends in a row. That's like an entire month basically. So I do not know what my plans are and how free I'm going to be during the weekdays, but I would love to still film something. It just is going to be at kind of like an off schedule. I might just still post it on a Sunday. But yeah, just sorry, this next like month is going to be a bit crazy and a little unpredictable. Not something I don't have a set plan right now for my podcast videos for like the next month, but I'm hoping to get at least some videos out for you all, progress, because I think I will be getting some knitting done during the next, when do I not knit? It's very rare for me to not knit, but yeah, I just wanted to let you all know, if you don't see a video from me, I do apologize, but yeah, these next coming weeks, this whole summer actually is going to be kind of crazy, but yeah, so sorry, it's going to be, I don't have actually like a plan to tell you all about it, but just if you don't see a video from me, I apologize, and I'm going to try my best to get a video up with updates at hopefully not too long of a wait, but yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I am really excited to, now that, again, last week I had a lot of finished objects, and so I'm trying to just like get caught up on where I'm at right now. I'm feeling good and refreshed, which means maybe new cast on sometime soon. Have lots of inspiration for things to cast on, and lots of pretty yarn to look at and to decide what I'm going to cast on. So I am looking forward to all of that, and the weather's been really nice. It's been really fun to take finished object pictures lately, and so I'm hoping I can also use this summer to catch up on some of those pictures. And yeah, I'm trying to finish my sweater spin in time for Tour de Fleece. I don't think I've really talked about that, but I want to do a sweater spin during Tour de Fleece, and I think that that's in July sometime, and so I have a little bit of time to get caught up and plan for that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you all. Thank you so much for writing your comments. I really enjoy reading them, even though I do take a while to respond, but I enjoy them. And yeah, as always, let me know in the comments down below what you've been working on while listening or watching this podcast. I'd love to know. I love getting new ideas for patterns and projects. And yeah, I hope you all have a great rest of your week, and maybe 2 weeks if I don't get a video out to you all next week. And yeah, I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye!